Hello and welcome back to Mbia Nyamkuta Glass Table Talk. In our last video, we spoke about the latent phase of labor, and going in theme with our car analogy, we were driving out of the neighborhood. It's the recommended speeds in the neighborhood, and we were approaching the highway, motorway, freeway. So as we come out of the latent phase of labor, it's like approaching that slip road that gets you to merge onto the motorway. So now we are in active labor, and using our analogy, we are merging onto the highway. The contractions now have become stronger and more regular, just like gaining speed on the motorway, highway, freeway. And at this point, your cervix, remember what we said, that it has to be fully effaced. It is now fully effaced, and the power of the contractions now is working on taking up the cervix, that is dilating the cervix. So the cervix at this point is dilating rapidly between 4 to 7 centimeters and beyond. During this period, because the contractions are becoming intense, the contractions are becoming regular. It's just like driving on the motorway, and you're now at whatever the recommended speed in your country is. I would say 70 miles per hour. You're cruising at that speed. At that speed, your body, likening your body to the car, your body is now using oxytocin at its maximum, which is just like when you are driving at high speeds, you're using a lot of fuel. So now, just like on a normal motorway, you're encountering traffic or some road conditions. You may face challenges during your labor, which is like discomfort or some anxiety about what's going to happen, and you might become very agitated because you are in a lot of pain. At this point, you're in a lot of pain. The idea here is to stay focused. Stay focused and practice your breathing techniques. If you've been going for antenatal classes, you might have been taught some hypnobirthing. You might have been looking online on ways to cope in labor. If you're fortunate enough to be in a country where you can be offered stronger pain relief, like pethidine, like diamorphine, like an epidural, it's the time to really reevaluate what your choice of pain relief is. At this point, like I said before, the most important thing is to stay focused, because you don't want to be in a state where you're so agitated and so stressed to the point that your body will start producing cortisol and adrenaline, which are enemies of oxytocin, that will make your labor stall. So at this point, my advice is to have a conversation with your birthing partners, have a conversation with your midwife, and come up with what would be the best way to navigate this. Just like if you're on the motorway and you're stuck in traffic, and or there is weather conditions that are not so good, or something has happened, you really have to negotiate how to get to the next point, how to come out of this traffic. So that's more akin to really having a good conversation with your midwife. You are cruising at full speed, and contractions are strong and frequent, and they are intense. The key here is you are using your GPS. You still follow your GPS. Your GPS in this case is your midwife and the other healthcare professionals involved. So you need to get to a point where you really get into tune with following and and following advice from your midwife, there is a myth amongst women, and there is belief in women's body, people believing in their bodies that they can do this. I'm not disputing that. A woman's body is made in such a way that it can bring a baby forth into the world. But if we go back to the biblical times, if you are a religious person, one of the things that was said is a woman is going to endure pain during childbirth. That pain most of the times doesn't kill. You can come out at the other side of it. But for someone with a pain tolerance that is not so good, if you are offered medication, if you are offered some pain relief, go for it. Because what you don't want to happen is at the end of your labor, you are so traumatized by the pain you went through, and you can't think of anything besides the pain, which might impact on your emotional and psychological well-being, and might even impact on how you bond with your baby, because all you remember when this child came into the world was the intense pain. So take heed of the advice from your midwife, from the doctors. You might have made a beautiful birth plan when you were pregnant, that please don't let me get an epidural, don't let me get any pain relief, especially for first-time mothers. You've never been in that much pain. You don't know how intense the pain is going to be. If you get to a point where your body can't do it and you just feel like you're losing your mind, if pain relief is available, please ask for pain relief. You then get to what we call the transition stage. These contractions are now really ramping up. They are now getting, if they were strong, they are getting stronger. They are getting more painful. This is the stage where most women become so agitated and so anxious, and they just can't control themselves because they're in so much pain. It's not unusual at this point that you hear women asking for a cesarean section because they just can't do it anymore. It's too painful. I just can't do it anymore. This is more like going up a steep hill or a busy intersection. The trick here is to stay focused. You might feel overwhelmed, but it's the sign that you're nearly there. You also need to check everything is fine. Your midwife will probably suggest examining you to make sure that you're getting to where you're supposed to be. Just like when you're driving, if an engine light comes up on your dashboard, you might want to check what is it that has brought up the engine management light. So the team will monitor you closely to make sure that you and your baby are all fine and you're approaching the end of your labor. So in a nutshell, the first stage of labor, like I said before, is like merging onto the motorway and really cruising on that motorway until you get to your next off ramp. With its challenges, you need to listen to your GPS, who is your midwife. You need to take advice on pain relief and to listen to your own body and to what your own body can do. Do not overstretch your body to the point where you're working, your body's counteracting itself. Instead of producing the feel-good hormone, which is the oxytocin, it now starts to produce cortisol and adrenaline, which can slow your labor. So labor really, it's a union between the family, the woman and the husband, and the midwife and all the other professionals involved. So remember, if you're in a place where you're offered pain relief, my advice would be really think about it. At the end of the day, you do not get a medal for going through the pain in labor. If you are in a place where you can't get the pain relief, then it's an unfortunate case. But otherwise, you want to remember the birth of your baby, from the support you got from the midwife, and how fiercely your body could endure the labor and how you managed to bring this baby forth into the world. I'm coming back with the second stage of labor. Thank you.